Racial profiling within Orthodox Judaism is huge. I don't care what anyone tells you; they can go cover up their stories all they want. But honestly speaking, there's a lot of racial profiling going on. For instance, I would be classified as the practical Jew, the guy who I just do things because it feels good. You know, my davening isn't going to be greatly disenchanted because I don't have a shtreimel on. I just don't believe certain things. Certain things, I understand why people do it. I'm not knocking them. But for me, personally, I'm not going to do things because either it's good for shidduchim, which I think is a bunch of crap anyway. Anyone who even listens to something or even writes in something like that has got to be out of their freaking minds. Out of their freaking minds. And all the people who are participating in this good for shidduchim crap have got to be like lined up and flogged or something. I don't know. Something of the sort. Throw them up on the poop deck and whip them or something, So, what was I going to say? So, white shirts are probably the key way to racial profile in Judaism. We would even call it like frum profiling. How frum are you? How frum are you? Do you wear a white shirt on Shabbos? I don't even wear a suit on Shabbos, let alone a white shirt. I wear a suit. I have like 5 suits. I worked for the state for a while. I have some suits lying around. But honestly speaking, if it's over like 60 degrees, I am not putting on a suit. There's no way. And my ex-fiancée was deeply disturbed by this. This was like the worst thing that could possibly happen. I remember we were walking around Muncie, and we're chilling, and she's like, I think you should wear a suit. I'm like, dude, it's like 95 freaking degrees outside and 100% humidity. Why should I wear a suit? It's Saturday afternoon. It's not like we're even in shul. It's Saturday afternoon. Everyone's strolling around. There's like 10 kids everywhere in groups huddling. We're walking around. She's like, I think it's just correct. I think, for my parents' sake. And I think for her parents' sake, it meant because people are going to begin to talk, and the talking leads, maybe your father will lose some customers, maybe, and I'm like, if customers are going to judge your dad by the fact that his future son-in-law is not wearing a suit on Shabbos afternoon at 95 degrees, I don't think those are good customers. I think that's, I think people take things a little extremely, crazy. I think people are nuts. I think people in the Frum community are nuts. A lot of them. I mean, I'm nuts too. So I'm not even, I'm in with the nuts. I'm not even one of those like raisins in the trail mix. I'm in. Maybe like, I like almonds. The antioxidants, the protein. There's good fats in almonds. There's good oils. I'll be an almond. How about an almond? An almond's kind of like an odd shape. It's not like a normal peanut. Cashew's a little nuts too. I don't know what kind of nut I'd be, but you can throw me in with the nuts. I'll be like a nut. I'm not gonna be like a raisin or chocolate covered, a malt ball or something like that. So anyway, I was gonna talk about something. Yeah, white shirts are great because if you have a white shirt, people can also see that you're wearing the wool tzitzis. And the wool tzitzis are very important. I am not wearing wool tzitzis. I don't even wear the long, I have the tzitzis with the thick, huge freaking knots. Like the ones that, like, if you do get them stuck in your fly, there's no possible way in hell you're going to get them out. You can pull and tear. I have this one pair of tzitzis. Can't really show you on this. Well, this one's actually, it's like this long, and the other one's this long because it had one of those, it was like, the fly accident. The really long ones, though, the problem with them also is they get stuck in escalators. Elevators. You hike in tzitzis, forget about it. It's like you're going to be pulling it with you. Kind of like, if you tuck a tablecloth into your pants. It's the same thing with tzitzis. Tzitzis are impossible. You have the really long woolen ones. You tuck them in nicely. It denotes this is the yeshiva style. I have no idea why. I was always trying to figure out. The only possible reason for wearing it like this is for, like, wind resistance, It's not in the front. It doesn't get tangled. It's just, like, goes very smoothly back. Kind of like the payas. See, payas, the slick back payas are pretty wind resistant in some cases. Wind resistance in Judaism is huge. I mean, it's enormous. By the way, these are just random rants. I'm just going to go nuts. I'm not even going to be coherent in these rants. They're not going to even be about anything. So if you don't want to watch, don't watch. I have ADD. I can talk about a million things at once. So wind resistance is very important. I mean, have you ever noticed that when people are walking to shul, their brim is down, and when they're at shul, their brim is up? It's pure physics. I mean, they're walking to shul. If you look at Frum people, they walk to shul. They walk like this. They walk with their heads down to shul. They always walk like they don't want to say anything to you. Shabbos, or they're very friendly. The very friendly ones, the hats are up. They're like, Shabbos, how's it going? All screaming at each other. It's all good. It's like a Karlbachian dope smoking event practically on the street, like when they're happy. Then you have the Sputnik guys. The Sputnik guys are real streamlined. They're just like, they're always like these like Russian guards. And yeah, the Strama guys. Strama guys are always these big, huge mothers that are like, "Sup, man? What's up, duh? Yo." You know, like, "Yo, bro, where'd you get that Strama from, B?" "Shit, man, I used to ride with this freaking Sputnik, man. Man, that shit ain't got no wind resistance, dog. It's like riding an Escalade on 15-inch winds, man. You have them 20-fold, man. Yo, when y'all gonna make me a spinning Strama? You know, like a gold rim, like 24-inch Strama, like spinning with like little low pro tires on it. You know, like the Escalade of the Stramas. You know, like, man, hon, where did you get that Strama from? Yo, man, I was like walking in Bushwick, dog, man. This nigga come out, man. He like wearing a Strama. Shoot, man. You know. Winter resistance is very important. Imagine you're walking in the Colel store, and you're running, you see that last box of Unger's, like, you know, like cornstarch or something. You're like, oh. And then this hand just comes out of nowhere. This woman in one of those, like, turbans. You know, the turbans are extremely wind resistant. Their capabilities are huge compared to, like, you know, like a sloppy Snood. The Snood's, like, all over the place. It's like an old Datsun or something. It doesn't work, you know? It's just like, this thing's, like, hanging off. But it's not like a sleek car. It's just like, you know, it hangs, you know, just like, you know, falls are a little better, the best ones, and you don't see them anymore. It's very rare. I actually have my friend's wife has one, and we won't even mention who she is. She might even be watching this, but she has a mullet shaitel. You know, like party in the back, business in the front. A mullet shaitel is just like the uber shaitel. They look horrible. It almost looks like you're trying to go for this, like, whole McGuyver look. You know, oh, McGuyver was kind of cool. I know it's a little begadish, but, you know, hey. Mullet shaitels should be begadish, shouldn't they? Never even thought about that. Mullet shaitels, begadish. I don't even know. But then again, the turbans should be begadish. I've always wondered why the women with the turbans, if they have shaved heads anyway, first of all, I don't understand the whole shaved head thing. We'll get to that another time. Shaved heads, why don't they just wear shower caps? It's so much more convenient. They don't have to, like, you ever see those people running with newspapers over their head? I don't know why. It's pouring. There's freaking sideways rain coming. There's like a hurricane. It's like a typhoon, and they're running with like a crumpled up Sunday Times above their head. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. Doesn't do anything. Or they have, like, their briefcase, you know, their briefcase. I think it's like a business thing to do. I have no idea why. I think it shows you know, that you care about your clothing, and therefore you're willing to waste the Sunday Times. I mean, I personally love the Sunday Times. I don't know about you, but I love the Times. I don't like it for their political viewpoints. I'm not like the normal Jews, like, oh, the Times is so liberal, I can't read it. I'm like, the Post is like a freaking smut-written, you know, National Enquirer for people that don't think they're reading a tabloid. Like, they've convinced people that it's not a tabloid somehow, put some pro-Israel stuff in there, and all of a sudden it's like the secular, you know, version of the Yated, you know? We read the Yated, the Hamadiyah, people can judge you on that too. You read the Jewish press, you're much more like, you're like the original modern Orthodox. You're like the Soloveitchik people. You're like the people that like the fact that YU is trying to infiltrate into the yeshivish people. I don't know, it's just, newspapers are huge into profiling. I mean, if we're going to go back to that, newspapers are big, man. Hamadiyah? You read the Hamadiyah, you're in the club, man. That's like, dude, you get all your news from the Hamadiyah, man? Hamadiyah rocks, dog. So I'm going to end there. I'm going to end at the Hamadiyah, because the Hamadiyah, I think they publish Mishpacha magazine. I got a lot to say about Mishpacha. I get all my I find it to be the most funny magazine in the world. I mean, the stuff that they write and say we're being open-minded about it is just like, dude, we abolished slavery in 1865. Though it probably wasn't abolished really until Jim Crow, you know, was hung up on a tree. But you know, dude, this stuff is like, Jews take like 30, 40 years to get with the flow. You know, like sushi became popular in the 90s. It didn't become, you know, things like that. They just discovered, the whole shidduch crisis is because they just discovered that women actually wanted to get jobs. And maybe raise you know, before they raised a family, maybe they wanted to, you know, do something else with their lives, you know? So, I don't know. Go either way, man. That's my rant. That's it.